Here.
Jackson.
Here.
Brownlee.
Here.
Tujansky.
Here.
Agee. Here. Albers. Here.
You'd go over your ordinances starting with 2015-27. This is the adoption of the 2016 tax budget, which we talked about the last two meetings, and this is on the third reading. Resolution 2015-29 is the contract with the powers, and I believe we have more information on that.
Yes, I did get a call today, actually. There's another person I thought was going to put a bid on.
It's not on.
A bid decided they're not going to, they can't get the offer, so.
So we're where we were last time about.
Yes, so it's up to you whether or not you guys want to do it or not.
Okay, and that amount was 80? I thought it was 182. 52? Maybe we were dreaming it was 180, 1,082. Oh, okay.
That was the great prior one.
Okay. Okay.
Madam Chair.
Councilman Brown, or Jackson?
Is that a one-time thing?
Yes.
And if we pass this tonight, is it possible that we could collect on that as soon as possible? As soon as we do pass it? If we are able to suspend the rules and pass this tonight, we could collect on this almost immediately.
It'll probably take 30 or 60 days to close the whole transaction.
Okay. Council, you're...
I haven't signed any papers yet because I guess I haven't approved it.
This is the second reading. Is it possible to suspend the rules and move on this?
Yes.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, let's go to suspend. Resolution 2015-32 is the Western Reserve Area Agency, which is grants that we get. And these are all due to the time sensitive, Linda?
Yes. This is for next year. We have to apply, even with the uncertainty of our future. If we don't, and we are open, we will not be allowed to go forward. This allows us to send the application in. It gives the mayor permission to do that.
Is there any reason to hold this up, or is there a deadline on it?
The deadline is coming up, and that it is. The deadline is July 10th.
That answers the question. So we'll try to suspend the rules here unless we have an objection.
I just have a question.
Go ahead, Mr. Brown.
Just wanted to clarify, this is a renewal then of one we currently have?
It is a renewal, but we have to.
Right.
Yes, we have to reapply, and the numbers will be different this year. We're asking for more. So, but yes, it's a renewal.
Any other questions for Mrs. Bogat? We will definitely try to suspend the rules on this since it is time sensitive. Resolution 2015-33 is to request that we have an advance program for our taxes. Is that, and that's something that we do every year. Irene, do you have any comments on that?
No, it just allows us to manage our cash flow. Normally, as you know, tax duplicates are twice a year, July and January. This will include like 5 advances. So throughout the year, we will be receiving money versus waiting for 6 months to get the dollars.
We definitely need to suspend the rules on this would be to our advantage. Any comments or questions on this one? 2015-34, the consolidation of at 5050 Stanley Road with Hope Alliance Church, which comes from the Planning and Zoning Commission. Although it's a first reading, this church has waited quite a while for this consolidation, so if we could suspend the rules on this, it would be good. Any questions? Comments?
Co-sponsor, Madam Chair.
I'm sorry, can you?
Co-sponsor.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Okay,
Me also.
okay.
Who said that there was a third?
Brian?
Project is definitely.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Jackson?
am I correct in thinking that, I think there at one time they had talked about building an addition to their churches? So this is what this is ultimately, hopefully it's going to
Yes,
be, it's just not a parking lot.
Exactly, they're moving ahead. They obtained the properties, and some of the houses and the outbuildings were demoed. They just have to do a little more demo, and they'll be ready to rock and roll. But yes, it puts them in a good position to move on their plans. Yes, thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes,
It's also my understanding that the church has gone out and raised the funds already for the expansion of the playground and the building. So, you know, we agreed to the original plans and went out and got the funding before construction, which is very rare and it's good to see. So I would like to see this passed as soon as it can so they could just get moving and move on with this project that we approved a couple of years ago.
yes, absolutely. That's been too long, obviously. 2015-35 is titles to 3 parcels of land. Any reason to hold this one up, or shall we do a suspension of it? Let's try to suspend.
Are these vacant, Madam Chair?
I believe they are, yes, and they will eventually be part of the demo. I don't have a complete list of the demos at this point. I think that's on the post. Okay. We can check with Councilman Jones when she gets here.
Madam Chairman, I believe by transferring it to the land bank, it makes the demolition process easier.
That's true. That's true. 2015-36. This is to put an amendment to one of our charter pieces and put it in the November election. We do have time on that. If you'd like to keep this as a first reading, you can look at it again.
First reading, Madam Chair.
First reading? Yes. Okay. 2015-37.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
We're going to have any conversation about this legislation 36.
We could have one, a work session before our next meeting. That was my thought, is to have a work session and bring all of these that are standing, waiting for votes at that point. That would be probably at the end of July, right before our August meeting. Would that be acceptable?
Yes.
Okay. Good. 2015-37.
Madam Chairman, perhaps you should have a public hearing that day as well. You know, we're going to discuss this, have a public hearing so that,
It has to be one or the other, John? We could call the public meeting for,
for any comments on the...
oh, okay, well,
That's one of the things we got in trouble with before, was the public said they didn't know anything about it.
Just an idea.
Well, good idea, I agree with that.
Okay.
Just to briefly explain it, and so the residents can, voice their opinions on it. Maybe possibly 3 readings, we'll also have the opportunity at council meetings too. So,
We also have it in the news today. The neighborhood news has an announcement as well. We could do a public meeting, but it would have to be a special. We can't combine the two. So we'll make a decision on that. Thank you, John.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Brownlee?
Yes, I'd just like to hear what the thought process is from the introducer regarding this legislation, 2015-36.
Madam Chair, I'm going to defer any questions to the law department.
Well, I believe the Supreme Court upheld the cameras, and the legislature upheld the cameras, just like I asked everybody to wait and let them decide whether they're opposed or uneducated about the process. So the Supreme Court has said they're legal, the state legislature has said they're legal. So I think we're just giving the public, after the legislature and the Supreme Court has spoken, we're giving the voters another opportunity to maybe have a more informed decision.
And is there some safety concern that is motivating this?
That also safety, manpower.
Has there been a lot of accidents or injuries involving motor vehicles in the city?
I'm sure there have been.
Is there going to be any discussion of the new requirements in state law regarding traffic cameras? Like a 3-year study of the areas you want to put the cameras up in, what kind of problems there have been, and then also notifying the public of those problems, if any?
I think we're jumping ahead just a little tiny bit, Councilman Brownlee. Once we get to that point, we'll know a little more. I think just the option of
Get to what point?
when we get to the point where we are able to do something with the cameras.
So we're gonna put this before the voters before we actually know how it functions? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, we're not going to do that. But we are
That's
going
what it
to
sounded like.
inform. We're going to inform and move on from there.
Madam Chair,
Yes?
I know I haven't kept a record. I wish I would have now. But I had numerous calls since the cameras went down about speeding on the streets, Dunham Road, speeding through the school zones, numerous calls. And I think Bob Bear's talked a few times on the speeders. So all this is doing is letting us abide by the law. We went through all the other stuff with opposition and everything. Everybody should have a good idea, and all we're doing is trying to abide by what the state law says so that we can monitor our speeders and for the safety of the city. I mean, it's simple as that. And I think all the other council members agree in their districts.
We haven't put anything on the ballot at all. All we're trying to do is to amend our charter, which allows us to move ahead. So that's where we are. Moving on to 2015-37, I believe this is the first reading. 2015-38 is also a first reading. 2015-39 is also a first reading. As is 40, 2015-40. And if I advance again, this 2015-41 is the first reading. Those will be ready probably by August, September. 2015-42 is also a first reading.
Madam Chair.
Is already published. Motion. Mr. Brownlee?
Regarding the ordinances to collect building violations and vacancy nuisances and whatnot, are there lists available for perusal by the public?
Not yet, no. That's why we're putting them on first reading.
Okay, when will they be available?
Probably after, first of all of, like for high grass, for instance, by the time we are finished, maybe August, September, I'm assuming that they will be ready for us at that point.
So when does this need to be passed?
July. The year ends August 31st. When, I'm sorry, what was your question?
When are these due to the county?
Second week.
Second Monday, Madam Chair.
Right, second, that would be the second week. I don't have an exact date on that.
When do we plan to submit them?
Probably August, or we could wait until September, so it could be accurate.
So when
We
will
wanna
we
have the
make
figures
a
up to
list
date.
available to the public for perusal? I haven't even seen one yet. You want me to pass something? I haven't even seen
Actually,
it.
we're not passing this, we're just putting it on the agenda so that we can pass it after 3 readings in September.
When will we have a list available for the public to peruse?
I can't answer that question for you. I don't know when we will have a list.
What happened in August?
Would be, I would assume, the end of August when we have done all the collection.
At the time that we're submitting it, we'll have it. So there won't be time for someone to look over it ahead of time if they so chose.
I'm sure there will be an opportunity to look over it. I'm not sure exactly what you're needing to look over.
Well, we've had multiple complaints in the past of something being incorrectly charged to their property, and perhaps we could weed these out ahead of time instead of dealing with them after the fact. That was my thought.
Thank you. 2015-42 is also, well, we just did that. That was the first reading, so it went backwards. And 2015-43 and 44 and 45. Irene, could you speak to those, please?
Yes. Madam Chair, I can, with the help of the respective chief, fire chief, and police chief, we have been incurring astronomical costs for repairs. And at this point, the repairs will outweigh the lease cost that we project to carry these. Also, there will be additional dollars for lease payments that will end for some of the police cars currently, so that money could just be parlayed to new leases. It would not necessarily be additional cost to the city. We're already paying the lease. Some of them expire in November of this year. And so I'm assuming that by the time the vehicles will be ready, which I defer to the chiefs, that it may take a few months in order, when this is passed, to have them delivered. And by that time, we will have additional dollars. In addition to the repair cost, which is, well, you see them on your over $1,000, like $3,000 at least every week that we're paying for repairs.
So we're actually just going out for bid specifications at this point. So the first thing we should do is probably agree to do this and suspend the rules. Correct in assuming this, council? No?
We know our equipment's in bad shape, especially the ambulance and the chief. He can probably tell you we have people sick going down the road because we can make it to the hospital.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Chief.
the vehicles that we spec for the fire department, we took off the state bid, which is a group purchasing bid that the state has every year. We went on the basis of recommendations from the list that they gave us and equipment that we purchased in the past from certain manufacturers, and put together bids that were extremely tight and extremely budget conscious for both the engine and the squad, so those bids are prepared and we do have those prices. We're looking for delivery on either vehicle a minimum of about 6 months before it's constructed.
So the sooner we can start it, I assume it would be a good idea to suspend. Yes.
To the same point, with the police vehicles, it's much the same thing. Just so council is aware, they obtained through the state bid. It's a state price, and they'll be coming completely outfitted. In other words, we won't be sending them to any other vendors. The price that we received for the for the leasing. And we got a number of different quotes regarding 3-year lease, 4-year lease, with an extended warranty so we can limit some of the repairs as well. We also got a purchase price to purchase the vehicles outright, just so that you have a comparison basis for the police vehicles. You know, to the chief's point, to Mr. Adams' point, the number of our vehicles are either approaching 100,000 miles or are over. We're going to need to do something. I understand the financial circumstances, but we may have a lot of foot patrol if we don't do something soon. And we too have the same kind of issues. And as Irene's pointed out, we've had roughly $10,000 in repairs to cars with quite a bit of money. The council's seen on their appropriations. You know, $4,000 for a steering wheel for a car with 85,000 miles on it just doesn't seem cost effective. So to that end, I mean, we've prepared the quotes for the council chooses to do is up to them, but we're just letting you know where we're at for the record standpoint. Thank you.
Okay, we can either do first readings on all 3 of these, or we can suspend the rules and get some options moving. I'd like your thoughts, please.
Madam Chair?
Councilman Jackson?
One question, I'm assuming that, did I hear that you do have the cost or you don't have the cost? Because I'm looking at it saying, preparing plans, bids, and cost estimates.
Well, we obtained bids, or at least we obtained the cost through the state price, through the state bid process. In terms of what that is, it's generally the best. It goes out statewide, and it's usually awarded to one dealership or one thing because it's the best price that can come up through the state. And we can certainly secure other ones, but what we did was obtain quotes based on that state bid pricing.
And that new cost, or the cost of these estimates, are they equal to the lease amounts that we're paying for 3 vehicles?
I don't know.
So we don't know if it's going to be an increase or how much that increase may be or decrease. But we don't know what that is.
No, not specifically. I guess to the point is simply that right now, it's just with the vehicle repair, and Irene maybe will answer that, but she does, it's all in her answer.
Did you hear the question, Irene?
Yes, and we will have the dollars. They will be probably a little less than what the current, because keep in mind that we have 6 cars that we're leasing currently, and we're looking at 4 that we will have. And so just based on some of the estimates and conversation that we've had, and I did, some analysis to see where the dollars would come from. And then basically it is true with other dollar savings, as I mentioned, with the loan being paid off for OWDA and also some OP&F. So with a combination of funding that's dropping off this year in terms of debt, overall we still should have enough dollars to pay for the leases and have some left over. So we have, like I say, started looking. What we would need to do is to finalize with the approval of this body the actual go-ahead to secure financing and secure, interest rates and, shop around for financing. But in terms of the quotes, we have those that we can start a plan and, put it in place with the financing.
So that's, go ahead, Alex.
Question to Irene. Most of this money be coming out of the ambulance fund, ambulance building fund?
No, not necessarily. It's money that's already being spent and out of the capital or, funds that we're paying leases now. It's just replacing that. It's not additional dollars that we would be added to the budget. It's just a replacement. The charges, as I mentioned, the last payment for that will be November of this year. And we're paying like $6,000 or so a year for that. So we'll have those dollars to cover the lease for the new cars.
Chief, can you answer a question about the pumper and the squad?
Sure.
Is this something that is being done in the area as well as purchasing? Are people still purchasing?
Leasing is the trend now.
Is it? Okay, I guess that's the question. Is that the norm?
A lot of people do a lease with a buy option at the end. Other people lease with a return option, use the apparatus for a certain amount of year. And then, work that into the detail. when you agree to the agreement. I think what happened here in the city, when we purchased apparatus and rescue squads in the past, we had a turnover plan. We purchased a little bit of a lighter duty rescue squad in hopes of getting a new one every 3 or 4 years, and then transferring one out of the city and then putting one of the units into reserve and rotating them through. I think when that didn't happen, we're asking a lighter duty vehicle to do the work for a longer period of time. So we did a lot of research and came up with squads that are a little bit more heavy duty. For instance, the fire apparatus, most cities spend in the neighborhood about $450,000 right now for a fire truck. We worked with the manufacturer and cut that down by $100,000. No chrome bumpers, no chrome wheels, no fancy striping, no anything. Heavy duty product, very plain and simple, to the fact for what we would need. Not having the aerial apparatus like we've had in the past, we need to carry more equipment on a truck. Really only one of the engines that we have right now, which is our frontline engine at Station 1, is suited for that. The reserve piece of apparatus that we have is a 1995, and it suffered a lot of corrosion. And the truck that's running out of Station 1 right now, I mean, we have pieces of it falling off today as it pulled into the station, so I thought I'd bring one for showing out. But, we're also mandated now to transport OBs and traumas to Metro Hospital and Hillcrest Hospital. It's putting a lot more mileage on these vehicles. And with being down to the 6-man, we're pretty much running the one engine all the time, so it's taking its share of it. It's up to 75,000 miles already, and almost 8,000 engine hours. So.
The last squad that we purchased from someone downstate. Is that something and it was reasonable at the time?
That was a lighter duty unit again, and the problem with those squads is they were purchased with a motor that Ford has had a lot of problems with, and that's really haunted us. And we've even tried some aftermarket adjustments to those engines to try to get some life out of them, and it's bad to keep throwing money at those things because you're not getting a return on them. Every time we turn around, something else is going wrong.
Do you think the leasing trend is a good way to go?
Just with the financial situation a lot of cities are in, to be able to fork out that much money to purchase something on the spot, I just don't think it's feasible for a lot of communities anymore. So leasing is becoming very popular. And if you're spending, 20-some thousand to keep a truck running for a year, and you can be paying that towards something new with a warranty on it, I think it's more prudent to do that. So.
Thank you. That explains it. Any other questions?
Madam President?
Yes.
Just one quick question. Ideally, in terms of leasing or warranty, what would be the expected life of a warranty for any of these vehicles, or is police or fire? What would we expect?
If you want to go, then I'll tell them that we're for the truck.
That's fine. We looked at a couple of different options for a service warranty. One was pretty inexpensive, but also didn't cover very much. The one was a little bit more, but it covered pretty much everything, bumper to bumper. I don't have the specs with me, but it was pretty comprehensive in terms of the time. It should cover just about the life of the lease for the amount of time that we'd have the cars, which is roughly 100,000 miles. If we're talking the 4-year lease, certainly the 3-year lease program, if you opted to go with that, it's the same thing. And again, I'm not 100% sure, but I think a lot of this leasing, just so we're clear, it's really what you're doing, you're just buying the car over time. It's no different than that. Oftentimes with some of these leasing police vehicles, I can't speak to fire. The buyout is very nominal because after 4 years of service, their mileage is very high, and they don't have much value, much like the vehicles we have now.
Irene, did you say you had some kind of idea of the cost of a lease? That you would investigate if you need further?
Right, I'm waiting for some projections, but of course it's based on what terms we have. The longer it is, the higher the interest rate. So I'm just waiting for the leasing company and for the doors of the police fire to proceed, but I have something.
Okay. In view of the 6-month wait, even after something is done, I would suggest that we move on these just to get some bids. And we would be definitely voting on it again. But if we could suspend the rules at this point and get started, that would be a good idea. If you're not opposed. Are we good, Council?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Expenditures, did you want to turn over to your expenditures, 2015 46 to 52? And if there are any questions, now is the time to ask them.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Jeff.
on 51, am I reading this right? We only got $612 left in our line item for asphalt. It says available budget 6612, and then I see an amount over here of $6,000.
Irene, can you address that?
Yes, and I apologize for some of the missing numbers. I was out last week in my purchasing for building plans. What is probably you're seeing is a year-to-date number. She probably put it from the year-to-date versus the annual budget. So I'm sure that you do have the money, and if not, as the numbers go into the contingency fund, which we should have at least $50,000 a year that we set aside $100,000 at the beginning of the year in the budget to take, for emergency repairs or what have you. So there will be money for this. It's a matter of whether it's coming out of asphalt supplies or whether it's coming out of contingency budget.
Satisfies your answer? Any question?
Yep.
Okay, any other questions on the expenditures, please? Okay. All right, are there any announcements that we need to make at this point in time? Council? Okay, we do have a couple of pieces on the places here. The Board of Elections, which sent some information on the continued purging that they've been doing. If you haven't gotten it on your computer, you can have it now. And then there's another piece of legislation that someone had asked about last time around for your information. Okay, office is ended, and at this point in time, we can begin our council meeting. Caucus is completed at 7:10. We will need a minute on the break. This meeting shall come to order at 7:10 on July 1st, 2015. Would you please rise? Councilman Tony Jones will lead us in the invocation.
As we begin this meeting, Lord, we want to give you honor. Thank you, God, for the time we have today to discuss issues and make decisions. May you bless each person who took the time to gather here, and let your hand of protection be on them throughout the rest of the week. Let the work done here tonight benefit our city, and let it all be for your glory. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, all. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Adams.
Here.
Jones. Here. Safrati.
Here.
Jackson.
Here.
Brownlee.
Here.
Turjansky.
Here.
Agee. Here. Albers.
Here. If there are no objections, the addendum will become a part of the agenda this evening. May I have a motion to approve the regular council meetings of June 3rd, 2015?
So moved.
Call the roll, please.
Adams?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Sephardi?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
Yes.
Jamansky?
Yes.
Agee?
Yes. We're looking for a missing minute. Actually, minutes. Okay. Communications, please.
From Mayor Jeffrey A. Lansky, the Mayor's Court reports for the month of January 2015 through May 2015. From the Caucus County Board of Elections, notice to inform the city that the names of ineligible individuals who have not voted since July of 2011 will be removed on July 24th, 2015. Also notice from the Caucus County Board of Elections to inform the city that the number of voting precincts in the city will be reduced to, in District 2, 4, and 6 to having only 2 voting precincts instead of 3, effective on July 14th, 2015.
Thank you. Department reports, please. Oh, I'm sorry.
I had a communication.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go
Can I
ahead.
read it?
Yes, go right ahead.
Thank you. Today is a very special day for one lady here this evening. The City Council Clerk, Katherine Unger. This will be her last council meeting after many, many years and too many meetings. But I thought it fitting that the Mayor's office would like to honor you with this proclamation, and if I can have a couple of minutes to read it. From the Office of the Mayor, proclamation, whereas July 3rd, 2015 is an important date for Katherine Unger. It marks the day she ventures forth into new beginnings as a retiree. And whereas Katherine Unger began her long-standing public service career in 1990 when she was hired by the Cuyahoga Heights Mayor's Court. Katherine joined the Cuyahoga Heights Village as the Mayor's Administrative Assistant. And whereas Katherine Unger was hired as Council Clerk for the City of Maple Heights in 2005, and dutifully served as official record keeper for City Council as well as the Planning and Zoning Commission these many years. And whereas Katherine has been diligent in maintaining city records, attending meetings, preparing legislation, as well as performing and assisting other departments with accurate record keeping. Ms. Unger has proven to be reliable and dependable in her communications and research with residents, council people, and co-workers. And whereas Katherine enjoys homemade arts and crafts and is an extraordinary quilter, making many detailed and intricate quilts. And whereas in her retirement, Kathy looks forward to traveling overseas, doing home improvement projects, scuba diving, and devote more of her time and talents to arts, crafts, sewing, and quilting. And whereas on this first day of July 2015, legislators, friends, and colleagues gather today to celebrate the many years of dedicated service of Katherine Unger. Now therefore, I, Jeffrey A. Lansky, Mayor of the City of Maple Heights, Ohio, on behalf of the residents of the city, do hereby extend heartfelt congratulations to Maple Heights retired Clerk of Council Katherine Unger, and wish her many happy, well-deserved retirement years, doing whatever she wants, whenever she wants, and wherever she wants. I like saying that. And I like saying this part too. In witness whereof, I am hereunto set my hand and cause the great seal of the city of Maple Heights to be affixed this first day of July in the year 2015. Congratulations.
I have to say that it's been my pleasure. Although it's tough sometimes, you know, but it has been a great run for me. And I did a little calculating. This is my 840th meeting that I've attended in my career. I added them all up, and I am just pleased that I could retire. And I thank all of you for everything, and I consider you all my friends. Thank you very much. Now you want me to read all this legislation.
And now you know why Kathy has looked so happy and so healthy and always smiling. That's what happens when you get to retire. Thank you, thank you. Department reports, please. Fire Department Chief Caucus.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Calls today for the fire department are 2,457. All the hydrant flushing in the city was completed in June. Water pressure issues seem to have been stabilized on the west side of the city since installation of the temporary main on Rockside. We contacted Cleveland Water. They are expecting to begin repairs on the 24-inch main under the bridge in late August or early September. Should be no problem having those completed before the weather turns cold. City of Maple Heights also received a grant from the State Board of EMS for $3,500, which we'll be using to replace some much needed equipment on the rescue squads. And just with the upcoming holiday, I want to remind everyone that fireworks are prohibited in the state of Ohio as far as setting them off. If you do have open burning, they should be used in a commercially available container or a suitable container. Use dry wood, 30 feet from any structure. And a problem that we seem to have every holiday is people discard burn materials or charcoal prior to it cooling off. It may appear that it's out and it continues to generate heat. So just want to remind everyone to allow those to cool overnight before you put them in a trash container. And on behalf of the fire department, just like to wish everybody a happy holiday. Thank you. On the report.
Law Department, Mr. Montello.
Well, same, happy holiday. Thank you, Kathy, for all your help through the years, and congratulations to those candidates that were unopposed and are going to be serving us in the coming January 1st, and good luck to all those candidates that are seeking election.
Police Department Chief Papalachi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Congratulations to Kathy on her retirement. No issue. Are they doing this us? Maybe go back to life. Calls for June for 1,491 for the police department, which brings us to a year-to-date total of 7,946. The investigation into the release of the employee social security numbers has been completed, and we'll be meeting with an independent prosecutor in the next week or so for a review of that investigation and any determination of potential charges. As Fire Chief Katherine said, it is the 4th of July holiday. Fireworks are illegal in the state of Ohio. Even though we all know that, we know that they'll be blowing them off, and we'll all be hearing them, and people will be calling it in. To that point, understand that we will receive as a police department hundreds of calls regarding fireworks between now and probably for a week after the 4th of July. We will come and we will respond to those calls. However, if there's a delay and there are calls that take priority, understand that you may not get someone there right when it happens. That's just the reality of it. We have sheets every year where we don't even pull extra complaint sheets for, we put it all on one because of the volume, so many. The officers responding as they can go. And obviously, if you're the one calling something like that in, I would stress to you that if you see something that's truly dangerous, other than just a noise disturbance, then you need to stress that to the dispatcher so that we can give it the appropriate priority. That said, myself and the police department, enjoy your holiday, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Chief. Human Services Department, Mrs. Bocat.
Thank you, Madam President. So the Human Services Department also wishes you well, Kathy, in your retirement. And we took a vote today, and we'll expect you Monday morning to start volunteering. We're going to give you the weekend, and then, where you can stop by, and we have plenty for you to do, okay? We don't want you to miss us too much. A couple things just to let you know. The farmers market, the mobile farmers market, we have been notified that we will have it here at the senior center again this summer. The dates are, to note is that we're changing from a Thursday to Friday. In July, the farmers market will be here on July 10th and July 24th from 10 o'clock until 12 in the morning, right in the back of the senior center. In August, it will be Friday, August 7th and 21st, again from 10 to 12. The program, it is all Ohio-grown produce. It helps the farmers in the area, and many of the seniors who were eligible for farmers market coupons also received those already. So we look forward to having them start again this July. On July 25th, Walgreens, our friends at Walgreens are holding a rummage sale for benefit of the Maple Heights Senior Center. It will be here at the Senior Center from 9 o'clock until 3. If you have any just prizes and wonderful things that you are willing to part with, you can drop them off at Walgreens. They'll be doing all the collecting there. And we thank them for their support. In the back we have some, our seniors are here. We're doing a raffle, we're doing a dinner on August 2nd at St. Andrew's Eastern Orthodox Church. It is a fundraiser for the food pantry and the senior center. We hope you can join us and support us in that endeavor. Just for your information, the end of June, the numbers from the food pantry have come in. We were open 13 days, and that's a total of 39 hours at the food pantry. We served in the month of June 407 households, and that's for a total people that were served of 899, and that's for 1 month of the year. So just wanted to let you know that. And lastly, we have been notified by the Cuyahoga County Division of Senior and Adult Services. They're hoping with more to come, of $25,000 to help us stay open beyond August 31st. So they tell me that there may be more coming from that after that, but an initial $25,000. Thank you. End of report. Have a wonderful holiday.
Thank you. Finance Department, Ms. Krems.
Good evening. I would like to wish everyone a happy and safe holiday. And to my friend Kathy, I will miss her. She's been very instrumental in my transition to the city when I started last year. So I'd like to thank her publicly for that. As far as the finance department is concerned, we're winding down with our audit. The audit will be completed and submitted by July 31st. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Irene. We now come to the citizens, the residents' comments. If you'd like to share a comment with us, you step up to the podium. You have 3 minutes. We need your name and your address. Make sure that's on.
Mic check, 1, 2. Yes. Stanford L. Chanette, 15051 Janice Drive. Greetings, Mayor, Chief of Police, Chief of Fire, Madam President, and council members. I stand here on behalf of the Maple Heights Democratic Club, our president, Michelle Rudolph, to give the official announcement that the Maple Heights Democratic Club is hosting a forum to meet the mayoral candidates for the city of Maple Heights on Wednesday, July 14th at the Maple Heights Library Auditorium at 6:30 p.m. Thank you. Gerald Arnold, 20709 Bowling Green Road. I just wanted to publicly, on behalf of the Planning and Zoning Commission of Maple Heights, thank Kathy once again for her fine service to our committee. We couldn't have gotten along as well as we have without you, so we really thank you. We miss you greatly.
Good afternoon, my name is Tangela Madden, 5555 Garden Street, Maple. The reason I'm here today is to mention a couple people who were so gracious to help clean up Home and Garden Street. The female has a home on Home Street. Her and her husband got their riding lawnmower. Her name is Don Clemens. And Don Construction, two of the guys came to help clean up that park. It was only about 5 of us that worked to clean up the park, and it didn't take long to really get it together, cut all the grass, weed whack, pick up all the trash. But one issue that I had was, it took forever to get Maple to come pick up the garbage in the garbage can. I had called, and it took over a week for them to pick up the trash, even though we collected and put it in the trash can. So I was just put out about how long it took them to even come pick up the garbage. But I just want to recognize the people who helped clean up that park. And the kids were very happy about us doing so.
Moving on to the next folks.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aaron Mitchell, 20100 Cracker Road. On behalf of the citizens of Maple Heights, I want to wish you a wonderful vacation, retirement. And I also want to officially announce my candidacy for City Council President here in Maple Heights. Am I allowed to do that? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. You didn't hear that. But I also want to go on and say I want to thank the City of Maple Heights for assisting with the cleanup over on Maple Heights Boulevard. There's a stretch of woods right in front of, actually right off of Maple Heights Boulevard between Warrensville Center Road and Raymond. And the city has been diligent with cutting the grass and removing the trash, and I thank you because I was doing that earlier in the year with removing the trash and debris up there, and I appreciate that. It looks really great. Most people see our city at 25 to 35 miles per hour, so it's very important for us to give a visual image that is appealing to people who are passing through our neighborhood. So I just want to thank the city on behalf of the people of Maple Heights in the 6th District. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Deion Blackwell. I live at 15357 Longvale Avenue. I just wanted to bring you guys' attention to the crosswalks we have in our city. Being a newer driver and a teenager, they aren't painted well. We don't have a lot of signs, and a lot of the drivers don't respect the crosswalks, so it's hard for us not to jaywalk or to get across the street efficiently. It's kind of dangerous. Where I live on DUNHAM, and that crosswalk is fading away. You can barely see it anymore, and there's no lighted sign, and no one ever stops. So I just wanted to bring attention to that. Thank you.
Bob Halen, 16226 Mansfield Court. I want to ask again for the passage of the traffic light cameras. I know this is sore for me. I have under my care crossing the Libby and Mayville Road. The cars come zooming down the road. The lights are changing from caution to red, and they go right through them. They're doing 40, 50 miles an hour. I'm asking council to pass this legislation again. Hopefully, the citizens will recognize this for their benefit and the safety of our children. I have roughly 400 kids crossing on my side street and Rockside Road. I've been all over the place. East and West as traffic guard for the kids. Now I may be fuddled and can't understand why it would not pass for your kids. The elderly, they cross. Somebody's got to take some cooperation here. And I hate stonewalling. I hate a lot of talk. Actions speak louder than words. I get tired of seeing kids I have to pull back from crossing the street. And I don't want to see this happening again with stonewalling and blocking the city from getting any further progress. We're not getting any progress. Stonewalling is not getting progress. And that person knows who I'm talking about. Thank you.
Linda Pettit, 18905, Maple Heights Boulevard. Before the first camera ever went in, I told the mayor I wanted a camera on my tree lawn. I still want a camera on my tree lawn. And the policeman that goes with it. Maple Heights Boulevard, I think people think it's like Libby Road, 35 miles an hour. So because it's 35 miles an hour in their mind, they drive 45 to 50. I would not attempt to cross Maple Heights Boulevard without assistance because I'm afraid that I would get hit by someone racing down the street. I also go down 141st Street, and I think it was probably a couple weeks, and people started racing up and down that street again. And they get real ticked off at me for driving 25 or even 30, and they just go around me, and whoops, off they go. There's speeding going on everywhere. I think they feel that they're in control because the opponents of the cameras got rid of the cameras, so now they're running the streets and they're running them fast. Someone will be killed, and I hope it's not one of your loved ones. And Chief Pilarczyk, now I know why those lights were put in on Libby Road to be lit and not a caution light. We need those. I figured that out after driving on Libby Road, which they also speed on. So, thank you.
Moving to our legislation.
Madam President, can I respond to one of the comments? First of all, I want to thank anyone who is working in the parks and helping us. We truly appreciate any help. With the shortage of staff, it's very nice, and we're appreciative that you have stepped up and taken responsibility. The only thing that I do want to clear up is that if there is a complaint about one of the parks, whether it is Southgate Park in District 2, whether it's the Dare Park in District 5, or Home Street Park, Conwillow Park, any of those, you need to call my department. We take care of the parks. I apologize for the delay in picking up that garbage. I did not get that message until much later. So again, if you call us, we will do our best to get out there and take care of the problem. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay, ordinance number 2015-27, an ordinance adopting the 2016 tax budget of the City of Maple Heights and declaring an emergency.
This resolution is on its third reading. Is there any discussion before we move for a motion? May I have a motion, please?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the roll for adoption.
Jones?
Yes.
Sephardi?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
No.
Turjansky?
Yes.
Agee?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Passed by the vote, 6 yes, 1 no. Resolution number 2015-29, a resolution authorizing the mayor and the law director to amend the lease contract with SBA Towers 5 LLC for a perpetual easement agreement of a cellular tower site at Dunham Park in the city of Maple Heights and declaring an emergency.
May I have a motion to suspend the rules and place this resolution on its third and final reading?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the roll to suspend, please.
Jones?
Yes.
Sephardi?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
No.
Turjansky?
Yes.
Agee?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
May I have a motion for adoption?
So moved. Second.
Turjansky. Is there any discussion, please? Call the roll for adoption.
Jones?
Yes.
Sephardi?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
Yes.
Turjansky?
Yes.
Agee?
Yes.
Adams? Passed by the vote, 7-0. Resolution number 2015-32, a resolution authorizing the mayor to make application to Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging for Title 3B, C1, and C2 funding under the Older Americans Act for the purpose of continuing certain services provided by the Maple Heights Office on Aging, to sign any required contract documents, and to declare an emergency.
May I have a motion to suspend the rules and place this resolution on its third and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the roll to suspend, please.
Jones?
Yes.
Sephardi?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
Yes.
Turjansky?
Yes.
Agee?
Yes.
Adams?
May I have a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Any discussion, please? Call for the roll on it to adopt.
Jones?
Yes.
Sephardi?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
Yes.
Turjansky?
Yes.
Agee?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Passed by the vote, 7-0. Resolution number 2015-33, a resolution authorizing the finance director of the city of Maple Heights to request that the city participate in the tax advance program of the county fiscal officer and declaring an emergency.
May I have a motion to suspend the rules and place this resolution on its third and final reading?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the roll to suspend, please.
Jones?
Yes.
Sephardi?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
Yes.
Turjansky?
Yes.
Agee?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
May I have a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Is there any discussion, please? Call the roll to adopt.
Jones?
Yes.
Sephardi?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
Yes.
Turjansky?
Yes.
Agee?
Yes.
Adams? Passed by the vote, 7-0. Ordinance number 2015-34, an ordinance consolidating certain parcels of property at 5050 Stanley Road, owned by Hope Alliance Church in the city of Maple Heights and declaring an emergency.
May I have a motion to suspend the rules and place this ordinance on its third and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to be added on.
Okay, yes, many of us did. Okay. Call the roll, please.
Jones?
Yes.
Sephardi?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
Yes.
Turjansky?
Yes.
Agee?
Yes.
Adams?
May I have a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Call the roll for adoption.
Jones.
Yes.
Safrati.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
Yes.
Tujansky.
Yes.
Agee.
Yes.
Adams. Passed by the vote, 7-0. Ordinance number 2015-35, an ordinance authorizing the city of Maple Heights to accept the titles to 3 parcels of land obtained through the Caucus County Land Utilization Corporation in the city of Maple Heights and declaring an emergency.
May I have a motion to suspend the rules and place this ordinance on its third and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll to suspend, please.
Jones.
Yes.
Safrati.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
Yes.
Tujansky.
Yes.
Agee.
Yes.
Adams.
May I have a motion for adoption?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll to adopt, please.
Jones.
Yes.
Safrati.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
Yes.
Tujansky.
Yes.
Agee.
Yes.
Adams. Passed by vote 7-0. Ordinance number 2015-36, an ordinance requiring the clerk of council to deliver to the Caucus County Board of Elections a proposed amendment to the Maple Heights Charter to limit the use of photo monitoring devices to detect certain traffic law violations in the city of Maple Heights and declaring an emergency.
This is the first reading.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Brownlee?
Thank you. I believe that 2015-36 is a foolhardy attempt to gain extra revenue in the future at some point in time. And it was overwhelmingly defeated last year by more than 2-1. And this body should be concerning itself more with the budgeting of the finances it has instead of trying to find impossible ways of getting more revenue. It just isn't going to happen. It would be a better usage of time instead of sitting back and waiting for November again for this body to consider what things need to be changed in this city. Consider other avenues such as a performance audit. Consider other avenues for the way that the city needs to spend its money, rather than waiting for another election to see if people will give us more of the money that we claim we need. So I say it would be more prudent for the city council to set aside this, because first of all, it's not going to happen, and second of all, it's going to lead us to simply waste our time waiting for November, instead of enacting or taking action that needs to be taken immediately to stop the bleeding of our city before it collapses.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Councilman Jackson?
Well, whether being for or against this piece of legislation, this is not the same thing that was on the ballot, number one. I think everybody sitting at the table knows this. Number two, one of the things that we heard about was that people objected to not knowing that this was going to happen in the city of Maple Heights. Well, that could be alleviated by having meetings with the residents and let them know this is being proposed. Number three, one of the things that people complained about was that there was not a police officer there for them to debate their ticket with or talk to. This has this in it. So the things that we heard about is going to be different. And this is not the same piece of legislation that got defeated. And I think, speaking honestly, anybody who's going to oppose it should at least tell the whole truth about it. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Thank you. Go ahead. Moving on to the legislation.
Madam Chair.
This is not a time for a debate, Mr. Brownlee. We've heard your
This is
comments.
exactly
and
the
we've
time
also-
for comments.
No, it isn't. I'm sorry. Moving on, please.
2015-37, a resolution certifying to the auditor of Caucus County the sums due to the city of Maple Heights, which were expended to correct building violations, including the boarding up of houses, which constitutes an immediate hazard to human life or health, or constitute a blighting or deteriorating influence on the neighborhood in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code, Section 731.51 to 731.54 inclusive, and declaring an emergency.
This resolution is on its first reading.
Resolution number 2015-38, a resolution certifying to the auditor of Caucus County the sums due to the city of Maple Heights, which were expended to correct building violations and the abatement of nuisances, which may include without limitation removal, repair, alteration, and securing administrative costs, which constitutes an immediate hazard to human life and health, or constitute a blighting or deteriorating influence on the neighborhood in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code, Sections 73151 to 731.54 inclusive, and declaring an emergency.
This resolution is also on its first reading.
Resolution number 2015-39, a resolution certifying to the auditor of Caucus County the sums due to the city of Maple Heights, which were expended for the abatement of criminal activity nuisances, which constitutes an immediate hazard to human life or health, or constitutes a blighting, deteriorating, or negative influence on the neighborhood in accordance with Revised Code, Section 731.51 to 731.54 inclusive, and declaring an emergency.
This resolution is on its first reading.
Resolution number 2015-40, a resolution certifying to the auditor of Caucus County the sums due to the city of Maple Heights, which were expended for the demolition of buildings and to correct building violations, including the nuisance abatement of foreclosed houses, which constitute an immediate hazard to human life or health, or constitutes a blighting or deteriorating influence on the neighborhood in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code, Sections 731.51 to 731.54 inclusive, and declaring an emergency.
This resolution is also on its first reading.
Resolution number 2015-41, a resolution certifying to the auditor of Caucus County the sums due to the city of Maple Heights, which were expended to cut noxious weeds and high grass, which constitute an immediate hazard to human life or health, or constitutes a blighting or deteriorating influence on the neighborhood in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code, Section 73151 to 73154 inclusive, and declaring an emergency.
This resolution is on its first reading.
Resolution number 2015-42, a resolution declaring the necessity of assessing the expense of garbage and rubbish collection and disposal within the city of Maple Heights, and certifying to the county auditor the costs due to the city of Maple Heights for garbage and rubbish collections, and declaring an emergency.
This also is on its first reading.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Brownlee?
Thank you. 2015-42 is certifying to the county that the city still wants to charge $15 a month for garbage pickup. It does not cost that much anymore. It has not cost that much for a year. And yet the city continues to collect that amount. The reason why is so that that money can then, well, two reasons. First is so that money can pad the bank account so we can spend it through negative fund balances and other funds. Secondly, it's overcharged so that the money can then be transferred to another account for a separate, different usage. $200,000 already in February was transferred from the solid waste fund to the general fund to pay for general expenses. They plan, this body, or some of the people up here anyway, plan to transfer hundreds of thousands of dollars more of that money that we've paid specifically for curbside trash pickup. They want to transfer that to the general fund to pay for general expenses. It's all done under a pretext of paying back money that the general fund deserves, which the state auditor's office on countless occasions has said is completely incorrect, baseless, and illegal. These transfers are illegal and they'll be required to be put back whenever an audit is completed. Those monies will have been spent in the interim though. So what money will be put back into this solid waste fund? That's the question. If we transfer these hundreds of thousands of dollars to the general fund, then of course spend it, what money do you then put back?
Thank you,
This
Mr.
is not-
Brownlee. Mr. Brownlee,
Madam Chair.
You've made your point. You're now going on with...
Madam Chair, why are you cutting me off? Allow me to make my comments.
Because you made your point and we need to move on, please.
Madam
We have
Chair,
other
thank you for
things.
letting me continue.
I'm not going to let you continue, Mr.
The
Brownlee.
problem is, the city
We are not
will be worse
debating what
off.
the problem is, Mr. Brownlee.
The city will be worse off. The city needs
Mr. Brownlee, it's time. You made your point. We need to move on to other
Madam
pieces
Chair,
of
just because you don't like
legislation.
what I'm saying doesn't mean you should
I
cut me
don't,
off.
whether I like it or not is beyond the point. You made your statement. Now you're going on to a dissertation.
Madam
This is
Chair.
not the appropriate time for it.
Thank you for letting me finish my point.
You did think.
Thank you for letting me finish my
Do
point.
it quickly, please.
So, the city is going to continue this trend until oblivion comes. I mean, if we continue to collect $15 more, or $15 and we don't need $15, and legally we can't collect that $15, that money is going to be spent. The negative balances will continue to grow, the money will continue to be transferred under pretexts. I ask this body to stop the madness before it bites us, because it will eventually bite us. You cannot violate the ORC as long as you desire.
Thank you, Mr. Brownlee. Moving on, please.
Resolution number 2015-43, a resolution authorizing and directing the preparation of plans, bid specification, and cost estimates for the purchase or lease of a new rescue squad in the fire department through the state of Ohio, bid process in the city of Maple Heights and declaring emergency.
May I have a motion to suspend the rules and place this resolution on its third and final reading?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the roll to suspend, please.
Jones. Yes. Sefrati. Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
Yes.
Turjansky.
Yes.
Agee. Yes. Adams.
May I have a motion for adoption?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the roll to adopt, please.
Jones. Yes. Sefrati.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
Yes.
Turjansky.
Yes.
Agee. Yes. Adams. Passed by the vote, 7-0. Resolution number 2015-44, a resolution authorizing and directing the preparation of plans, bid specifications, and cost estimates for the purchase or lease of 4 new police cars in the police department through the state of Ohio bid process in the city of Maple Heights and declaring an emergency.
May I have a motion to suspend the rules and place this resolution on its third and final reading?
So moved.
Is there any discussion? I'm sorry, did I hear, I thought I heard a second, yes. Mr. Jackson and, call the roll to suspend, please.
Jones. Yes. Sefrati.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
Yes.
Turjansky.
Yes.
Agee. Yes. Adams.
May I have a motion for adoption?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the roll for adoption, please.
Jones. Yes. Sefrati.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
Yes.
Turjansky.
Yes.
Agee. Yes. Adams.
Yes.
Passed by the vote, 7-0. Resolution number 2015-45, a resolution authorizing and directing the preparation of plans, bid specifications, and cost estimates for the purchase or lease of a new pumper truck in the fire department through the state of Ohio bid process in the city of Maple Heights and declaring an emergency.
May I have a motion to suspend the rules and place this resolution on its third and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, please?
Madam Chair?
Mr. Jackson?
And just for people who might not have been here during our discussion earlier before this meeting started, you may be wondering where is this money coming from for these new vehicles? Well, it was discussed that we have some lease payments that are going to be falling off in November. And we hope to turn around then and use that same money to lease new vehicles. Hopefully, even less than what our lease payments are now. Just for informational purposes. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Suspend, please. Call the roll.
Jones.
Yes.
Zaffarati?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
Yes.
Turgensky?
Yes.
A.G.?
Yes.
Adams?
May I have a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second? Okay. Any discussion? Call the roll for adoption?
For the last time. Jones?
Yes.
Zaffarati?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
Yes.
Turgensky?
Yes.
A.G.?
Yes.
Adams? Passed by the vote 7-0.
One more.
Oh, I do.
Expenditures, please turn to your expenditures over $1,000. That's 2015-46 through 52. Do we have any questions, discussion? May I have a motion, please? So,
Second.
would you call the roll?
Adams?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Zaffarati?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
Yes.
Turgensky?
Yes.
A.G.?
Yes.
Mayor's report, please.
No report.
Okay. Council reports, starting with Councilman Jones, Councilwoman Jones, District 2.
Good evening, everybody. I just have a couple of points for you. If you do have the opportunity to visit the Maple Heights website, there's an informational flyer on there explaining how July 11th at the, if I do believe this is correct, the Holiday Inn on Rockside is going to be a one-day foreclosure prevention assistance program. There will be representatives from mortgage companies there, such as Wells Fargo, and there will also be counselors there. So July 11th is a very important date if anybody may be behind in their mortgages, even though you have not received a foreclosure filing. Now is the time to actually see if you could get some assistance. The second thing that I have is that in September, the county is preparing a list of homes to be sold, and these are selling actually delinquent tax liens. These are property tax that are certified 1 year delinquent, and they randomly come up with, this year is close to 9,500 homes that are going to be sold to a private investor. And it's legal through the state of Ohio, through the Ohio Revised Code for them to do this. Many states do this, and they've been doing this for years, but this is something that's very critical to our city because we have about 350 homes that are on this list. They may not all be verified. This list has been split up between council to visit these homes for either if they're vacant or if they are, if we're able to give them a letter urging them to contact the county treasurer's office to set up a payment plan. This is like the one time, ladies and gentlemen, where government is actually your friend in trying to contact the treasurer's office because their interest rate is a lot lower than the private investor that is also going to try to contact these people after they purchase their tax liens. And with the penalties and interest, once you're already under by maybe $1,500 to $3,000, it's hard to dig yourself out of this hole. So we're really trying to outreach to people so that the sale or some of these homes could actually be removed from the sale by entering into a payment plan with Cuyahoga County. We do have the list. or I have the list right now. I mean, everybody on council has the list. If you want to contact your council person just to see if by chance you might be on this list, you should have been contacted already by Cuyahoga County. And the sale is in September, so you'll have numerous attempts on their part in order for them to outreach to you to actually please give them a call. And if the line is busy, just keep on calling. There are many homes that are being lost to foreclosure through this process, and that's serious stuff. If you have a relative that you could borrow money from, if you're bankable, where you can maybe take out a loan to actually pay these taxes off now, you're going to thank yourself in the future, because one, your interest rate's going to be lower from wherever you borrow from than with the county. But if you have no other choice but to enter in a payment plan with the county, it's still a gentler process to go through than to be sold to the private investor. And if anybody has any questions, I will be here after the meeting. My third thing is just to give you a very quick update about the the demolitions and the demolition bond application that we submitted to the county. We originally had 89 homes on the list, and most of those people have been notified by certified mail. And I'm kind of pleased to announce this, is that there's been 13 of those homes that have actually come out of the woodwork. We found the owner, and they're pulling permits, and they're fixing these homes. And that is a victory. We don't want these homes demolished, but if that was the wake-up call for people to actually get their permit to start fixing these homes, that is awesome. So we have 13 right now currently under construction. There's 4 homes that went through their own private rehab, and they've done an awesome job. Unfortunately, they're still vacant, but they're fixed up, and the neighbors are happy with this. There are 8 properties that are probably heading toward the county land bank, where we've been contacted. These owners have actually contacted us and said, you know, we know that the houses are in bad shape. We know that we owe a lot of property tax that we can't catch up on, but I don't want to get in trouble, so how could I dispose of my property? So there's probably going to be about 8 people donating their property to the county land bank, who will then do an evaluation on these properties to see if they are demolition worthy, or if they are able to be sold to an investor or a homeowner to rehab these homes. There's 4 houses that are being intervened by the building department, because miraculously overnight there's a tenant in these homes, and that may be a good thing, that these people are living and paying rent in a substandard house. So they are intervening to make sure that there's an inspection on these homes to make sure that people are living in safe and sanitary conditions. And just a real quick story, there's a house on Dunham Road that has been empty for quite a while, and all of a sudden, you know, a man pops up and he lives there. There's a transfer from the county auditor where he paid money for this home. It's still tax delinquent. It had no pipes when this man moved in. He only had electricity. And you know, I'm trying to do everything in my power to help this man either repair or find means to repair. But my understanding from the neighbors, because I can't get in touch with him, is that he put down almost his life savings to buy this house. And that's a shame. That is just, I mean, I don't want anything bad to happen to this person. We're not in here to condemn anybody, but people like that don't understand the transfer process, or does just something like a quick claim deed where you don't go through a title company, where nobody sees if there's any back taxes or liens on the property, and to put down almost everything that you have in a bank in a house that you're thinking, wow, I could get this beautiful house for this amount of money, but it doesn't have any pipes, it doesn't have this. And I'm really hoping that we're going to be able to outreach these people. So if you actually see any vacant properties that may have a person just pop up, if you could let somebody know, if it's the law department, or if it's your council person, or if it's the building department, please do this, because we really need to help these people. And, not the best for last, but we sent in 5 or 7 proceed orders in the month of May for demolition. There's an additional 10 properties that are going to be taken down sometime this week for a proceed order for demolition. We did get notification and service on these people, so they know that their house is coming down. And the county told me it takes about 2 months for the house to actually go through an asbestos survey, and they get the bids for the contractors for doing the demolition. And just again, just real quick, just so you guys don't think that we're just randomly trying to tear down houses, I'm just gonna look at some of these. There's a house, okay, they own $22,000 in back taxes. There's another one that owes, okay, I do have some that are current, which is good. There are also some homes that are coming down that are owned by the banks. There's one at $28,000, another at $12,000, another that owes over $40,000 in back taxes. And these are homes that are just sitting there. And it takes a long time to get delinquent, but it also takes a long time to sit there and have deterioration happen where you actually have holes in your roof and water and elements come in just to make these houses not habitable or not worth the money that it's going to take to invest in these homes to bring them back. We have a lot of good homes that we need to have good people put in good money for, not homes that are not at that status. And that's the end of my report.
Could I ask a very quick question? Councilman Separati, District 3.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to be short and sweet. No offense. No, it shows you how hard, it shows everybody how hard you're working, so that's good. Thank you for your efforts. I just wanted to thank Kathy Unger for all her efforts, and job well done. You've done good. Good for you. All right. Well, congratulations on your retirement. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, and you've earned it, so thank you very much. And I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. Councilman Jackson, District 4.
Good evening, everyone. First off, Kathy, thank you for your years of service. And I think I heard scuba diving. Watch out for Jaws. Mrs. Jeanette, I just noticed this on this flyer, and I've had this flyer too. Talked about the candidates forum on Wednesday, July 14th. Guess what? Wednesday is not the 14th. It's the 15th, so I don't know if it's Wednesday the 15th or Tuesday the 14th.
Tuesday, not Wednesday. Tuesday.
Okay. So everybody who has flyers, or if you know somebody else who's mentioning, make sure you correct that for them that it's Tuesday the 14th, not Wednesday. The mayor mentioned something that I want to talk about too, and it was in the newspaper also. And this is National Voters Registration Act. They're going to be purging people off the roads who haven't voted, but they can't guarantee you that a person who has voted name won't show up on this list. So I suggested everybody check this list. There's a website, or you can call the Board of Election to make sure that you're not on this list incorrectly in the report.
Thank you. Councilman Brownlee, District 5.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A couple weeks ago was the 100th anniversary of the city of Maple Heights, a celebration of it, put on by the Historical Society, and we had a lot of fun. The rain held off until the very end, and then it drenched everything. But we had a good time. If you would like to see pictures or video from the event, they're available on Maple Heights News. Also, both the old items they dug up from the time capsule and the new items that they're going to be putting into the new time capsule that they'll be burying eventually, they're on display at the museum, the Little Red Schoolhouse at the corner of Dunham and Rockside, so you can stop by and see both what the folks in 1965 thought we would want to see in 2015, and also the things that we're going to put in there in 2015 that the people in 2075 or 65, 2016, about that, 2065, they'll be opening up and finding that we put inside the time capsule. The new time capsule, they said, will be buried either this fall or in the spring. They're going to buy a nice marker to mark where they buried it, and then they'll have some type of ceremony or celebration to come in the fall or the spring of this year or beginning of next year. The trash fund was one of the topics of tonight in legislation. This has been a topic for the past year, more than a year, the trash fund, what we're going to do with it, how we're going to handle it, and this is ongoing. But the city really needs to consider other funding sources than taking money from a restricted fund like the trash fund. The Fiscal Emergency Commission has not been seated yet. It has been, almost 5 months since the city was declared in fiscal emergency, and the commission has not been set. This is abnormal. I'm talking with folks from the Office of Budget Management, and the reason it hasn't been sat yet is because they're still waiting on the proper paperwork from the mayor of the city. He will not submit the proper paperwork so that the people can be selected by the governor's office, and then the commission can be set. The Budget Commission has been contacting the mayor's office since April 15th. According to Ohio statute, a mayor has 10 days to submit the names and the proper paperwork, and it has not been done almost 5 months later. This city really needs significant help. I believe that the commission would be able to provide some of that help. But alas, it languishes in delay. 2 weeks ago, I did a survey of the voters in the city who vote the most often. We had 230 people respond via telephone, and the responses were interesting. There were many questions asked. Just a couple of them were these. Asked people what they thought of their tax rate currently. And people thought that, or 41% of respondents thought their taxes were too high. That's a significant hurdle. Another question was, do you believe that the taxes, your money, is spent wisely in the city? 52% of people said no. They don't believe the money is spent wisely. But get this, 30% of people said they were unsure. So 82% of people were either unsure or believe that the city does not spend its money wisely. Less than 20%, less than a fifth of people surveyed believe the money is spent wisely. And these are registered voters. These aren't the careless, haphazard renters who pass through. Another question that was asked is about fiscal emergency. This was interesting. This was very interesting. I was surprised at this one. I asked people if they were aware that the city is in fiscal emergency. Now, mind you, these are the people who vote the most, who are the most invested in the city, pay the most attention. 38% of people said they didn't know. 38% of people said they didn't know. It's very curious. I didn't expect it to be that high. But those are all concerning things. Because if the city needs more revenue, so this survey and conversations with other people throughout the city shows that there is not sufficient trust within the electorate to pass another levy. And I know no one likes to hear that, but that's just the truth of the matter. That's the truth of the matter. There is not sufficient willpower among the people of this city to entrust the city with any more funds. That's a significant hurdle that the city needs to overcome. And the only way it's going to be overcome, I believe, is by developing trust with the members of their community. And trying to bring back traffic cameras is not going to build that trust. But this weekend is the 4th of July, and if you know anything about the founding of this nation, you know that it was quite an arduous task. An arduous task taken on by actually a minority of people within the beginning of our country. It was really a minority that pushed very hard for things they believed very strongly in. And they achieved their goal, and that's why we're here today, not as British subjects, but as free Americans living under a constitution. We have a great heritage to follow and uphold, and I hope that you take some time to celebrate that this weekend. I know there'll be lots of times to get together with family, cookouts and things, but take a moment to reflect on how important this day really is in the history of our nation. The 4th of July means a lot to not just America, but to nations throughout the world. So take some time to commemorate what it means with your family and friends as you have a good time this Saturday. May God bless you, and may God bless Maple Heights.
Councilman Trojansky, District 6.
Thank you. Good evening. Just 3 items I want to report on. I'm currently typing up the July issue of the District 6 newsletter, so I'll be putting that out next week. Weather permitting, I'll be out delivering it onto your side doors or front doors, so please be cognizant if you're in District 6 that the newsletter will be going out next week, weather permitting. I'll be hosting a block watch meeting for District 6 residents on Monday, July 20th at the Maple Heights Library at 7 o'clock in the auditorium. So if you're in District 6, if you belong to a block watch, or if you're interested in starting a block watch meeting, I'm having that meeting on Monday, July 20th at 7 o'clock in the Maple Heights Library. And then finally, in the past 6 years since I've been on council, I've had a best yard contest. And so this year I have about 26 participants, and we'll be doing the judging in the next couple weeks, and so I'll have the announcements of the first, second, and third place winners at the August meeting. And then finally, I just want to say, Kathy, it's been more than 5 years that we've been colleagues and friends, and it's been a fabulous journey, and I wish you all the best. You've been a great colleague, a great clerk, and I wish you a happy retirement. Thank you so much. End of report.
Councilwoman Agee, District 7.
Good evening. I would like to thank all the residents who attended my block watch meeting yesterday. A special thanks go out to Michelle Rhodes. Michelle expressed how important it is to keep the human service available for the residents. She stated that one day we all might need to service. Southgate updates. Dots is closed. TNT is closing. The bowling alley is scheduled to open August the 16th. And Southgate is having their 60th anniversary on September the 12th, starting at 11 a.m. This will be a 2-hour event with music and games. Have a safe and happy 4th of July. End of report.
Thank you, Edwina. Councilman Adams, District 1.
Complaints of high grass on Summit, Turley, and Florence. Left reminders on the doors, and the residents did cut their grass. I do this a couple times a week. And because of all the rain, I give them a little headway. So we're doing good in District 1. Because of all the rain, there was flooding on Steinway, and residents and Tanya from the service department and myself called the sewer hotline. They were out that night to assess and take care of the problem. A cable wire hanging low on Thunderbird. Thanks to the service department for the help on having it raised. I'd like to have a special thank you to Jim Lowe for his efforts at Dunham Park. It looks great now. A special shout out to Leon Hines from District 1 for his volunteer work with the other parks. So nice when we all work together. all are invited to a flag raising ceremony on Independence Day, which is 4th of July, and it starts at 12 noon at Stafford Park. And what can we say to thank Kathy for all her years of work for the city? She was always helpful, and her knowledge of the job will be missed. God bless you with health and stress-free retirement. With that, I would like to welcome our new council clerk to the job, and I look forward to working with you. And Kathy, I was glad that I met a good friend in these 8 years. The amount of help you gave me, it's great. I'll never forget you. Happy 4th of July to all, and then end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. We located our missing minutes, so if you would just bear with us for one more moment. I would like a motion to pass the special council meeting minutes of June 22nd, 2015, where we held an executive session as well as other business in agreeing to hire a new council clerk. Would you call the roll? May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Jones?
Yes.
Savarati?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
Yes.
Brzezinski?
Yes.
AG?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
Thank you. Now we are all official. We have anything to do with our supposed to do. I'd like to just remind people to remain positive. We hear a lot of negativity here at the meeting and as well as around the city. But I also hear people who are remaining positive and do have trust in the folks that are running the city, as I do. Beyond that, I can't say anything more because it's now 8:25 and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much for coming. We will see you in August, if not before. Thank you.